2.1.4 Business Case Null Learning Objectives. This section considers the business case, which provides the justification for undertaking a project or program. It evaluates the benefit, cost and risk of alternative options, and provides a rationale for the preferred solution. The very first consideration of a project by the organization provides the opportunity to evaluate the options that may be available. By the time you have studied this section, you will have completed the following learning outcome assessment criteria. 4. Understand project management planning. 4.4 Outline the purpose and typical content of a business case. 4.5 Explain the role of a project sponsor and project manager in relation to developing a business case. 4.7 Define the term benefits management. Purpose and typical content of a business case. All organizations, either private or public, must be accountable for how funds are used and the level of returns gained from these funding decisions. The business case provides a recognized framework through which project spending proposals can be recorded, reviewed and audited to learn lessons about how efficiently the organization is deploying funds to achieve its targeted returns. The business case will be referred to throughout the project in order to make decisions about the continuing viability of supporting the change initiative. Reviews will be carried out at the end of and prior to starting major project phases, with the intention of avoiding continued investment null, when it appears unlikely that the project will achieve the returns that justify such funding. A decision to terminate a project could be for a number of reasons. A changing economic environment may cause increases in the cost of providing funding, and therefore increase costs to an unacceptable level. The output being delivered may be forecast to not deliver the benefits that were planned. Societal trends may mean that the output is no longer a desirable commodity for the intended user population. No typical business case content. At the highest level, the business case will show the level of investment required, the change intended and the resulting benefits. An environmental analysis may show the distinct background and business drivers stimulating the organization at this time. The detail of how this is documented can vary depending on the business sector of the sponsoring organization and the level of accountability expected. There are, however, some fundamental aspects that would be common to most business situations. Background situation. This will capture the essence of why the project is needed, including information such as environmental analysis, market situation and the output of any research studies that have been carried out. The information in this section should clearly state the problem, opportunity or business need the project is intended to address. Benefits. A full agreement on how the benefits will be realized and measured, and how the stakeholders will be involved, is crucial to ultimate feasibility. This information should be sufficient for stakeholders to understand the operations and ongoing maintenance required to enable the acceptance and use of the benefits. Budget. This refers to the funds that are expected to be consumed as a result of delivering the project. There may also be contingency allowances to take account of uncertainties. As the project progresses further, more granular cost estimates will be produced and reflected back to the business case budget. Risks. The longer the time scale of the project, the more difficult it may be to identify the level of uncertainty and the most effective approach. Business case risks are the most important to identify. If they can't be mitigated at this stage, it may mean that the project is abandoned or a less risky strategy pursued. Options appraisal. The strength of any business case is increased when a full range of possible options has been considered. This shows that the organization has not become over-reliant on a single idea, but that it has reflected on what other options may be possible with the available funds. The do-nothing option may also be considered. When the final business case is ultimately produced, it is approved not only on the basis of being a good idea in itself, but also that in relation to alternatives it was the strongest option. It is common for options to be subject to a financial appraisal considering relative costs in relation to time and the phasing of return value. Options appraisal is a major part of the justification for the chosen option to proceed. Additional content. As well as the above, the business case may also document information on timeline, success criteria, stakeholders, constraints, assumptions, dependencies and details of any plans. Role of a project sponsor and project manager in relation to developing a business case as well as a structured approach to business case development. The views of a number of key stakeholders will also be essential. This will ensure that the business case that has been approved is seen as a realistic proposition by those who may have influence on the resulting project deployment and actual transition of the output into operational use and subsequent benefits realization. The following stakeholders may be involved in business case development and contribute to its content: Project Steering Group, Project Board. The members of the Project Steering Group are often made up of corporate management who, in their monitoring of the organization's external or internal business environment, have defined a need to consider that change options should be explored. Project Sponsor. Appointed by the steering group and considered to be the owner of the business case, the sponsor will lead its development during the earliest phase of the project. Ultimately, the business case may be approved by the steering group, and funding released in order that the project proceeds to detailed planning. Project Manager. While there may be a sound business case from a financial point of view, this becomes meaningless if there has been no recognition of how the resultant project is actually going to be managed and delivered. The project manager will be appointed by the sponsor, and will contribute detail about the reality of delivering such a change. In some cases, where the project is a smaller internal project within a functional department of the organization, the project manager may write the business case under the direction of the functional manager, in effect, the sponsor. In this case, the project manager may solicit the input of others in the organization to form the business case content, but it should always be the functional manager who remains accountable for the business case realizing the benefits planned. No other business case contributors. An effective business case results from the consideration of alternative options in addition to the views of stakeholders, who may influence either the project output or benefits realization, when the output becomes operable. Other key contributors could be users. They will be key to providing the sponsor with insight about how the output will be operated within business as usual. It is their perspective that will add most value to the project and be key to benefits realization. Business Analyst. This may be an internal role, or brought into the organization as an external consultant, providing a vital link between the project, its stakeholders and both the internal and external environments. A strength of a skilled business analyst is the experience they have gained in other projects and the implementation of these lessons learned in planning a new project. Subject matter experts. These stakeholders could provide expertise in such areas as procurement, human resources, finance, specific technical areas and process application. Suppliers. This can sometimes be used as a blanket term when describing some of the roles above. Any stakeholder who has the capacity to input significant detailed knowledge to make the writing of the business case possible, and to add value to the decision-making could be considered a supplier. Taking account of this wide range of contribution can increase the objectivity and stability of a business case throughout the life cycle of the project. The term benefits management. In most cases, a project is initiated in order to deliver change and beneficial outcomes to the sponsoring organization. The business case documents a detailed account of the decision-making that has underpinned the project to the point where benefits realization is possible. Benefits management is the identification, definition, planning, tracking and realization of business benefits. Benefits realization is the practice of ensuring that benefits are derived from outputs and outcomes, and is essential to support the achievement of the business case. The business case should contain detail of the upfront plan for any supplemental activities and additional considerations necessary in order for the project output to be in the optimal state for benefits realization to be possible. The income expected and any operational costs connected to additional activities, including capital expenditure, should also be considered. During the investment appraisal of project options, the business case for the project depends on stakeholders, such as business change managers, reflecting enough to accurately attribute benefits at the right level, avoiding aspects that yield value being missed or double counted. A benefits management plan ensures that there is a proactive management approach to maintain a focus on benefits-driven change throughout the entire life of the project. Think about a project you are familiar with or one that you may have researched and write down 5 benefits that you would expect to find noted in the business no case for that project. Null.